The most engaging, impactful, informative, and entertaining talk show ever. Get ready to hear the voices of many local, state, and national artists, musicians, comedians, pastors, athletes, and politicians. It's time for South Florida Live with Jeffrey Brown. The most engaging, impactful, informative, and entertaining talk show ever. Get ready to hear the voices of many local, state, and national artists, musicians, comedians, pastors, athletes, and politicians. It's time for South Florida Live with Jeffrey Brown.
All right. Hey, good evening, everyone. Good evening and welcome to the South Florida Live podcast. Listen, I'm your host, Jeffrey Brown. And as we always begin our episode saying, this is the day that the Lord has made. So we shall rejoice and be glad in it. Listen, hope everyone had a day of peace and blessings and a productive day on today. Listen, tonight is Meditation Monday on the South Florida Live podcast. And listen, it's going to be a night. It's going to be a night of all nights tonight, y'all. It's going to be a night of all night. So listen, those that are viewing by YouTube, by Facebook, I need you to do me a favor, if you will. Come on in. Tag someone. Share with someone. And let me know that you're there, okay? So like, share, and make a comment. Let me know that you're there. Say good evening to me, if you will, in the comment section. Or we'll know that we're live, because we are live. We are live and in effect, live and in color. So come on, join us tonight for Meditation Monday, okay? Those that are viewing by YouTube, if you will, go ahead. If it's your first time viewing by YouTube, thank you for viewing with us. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We're trying to get our subscribers up, if you will. And once you see that little bell, click on that bell and click all. That way you get notified every time we go live. All right? Do me that favor, if you will. Thank you for joining us if you're on YouTube. Thank you for joining all those that's coming in. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming in. All right? Come on, we're gonna give you about another minute or two, because our guest is on a tight schedule, and we want to get them in and get them out on tonight. All right. So come on in. Thank you for joining us. Come on in.
Glitch in the matrix. How can that be? Is this something unreal?
All right. Hey, once again, welcome to the South Florida Live podcast. I'm your host, Jeffrey Brown, and thank you for joining us on this evening. We appreciate it so very much. Thank you for joining us. Listen, come on in. Please like and share with someone. Thank you for coming in. Good evening, everyone. Thank you once again for coming in and joining us on this evening. Once again, first, before we get started, hey, I want to thank all our sponsors, our partners that are partnered with this podcast and showed us love. Those that watch us on a regular every Monday and every Thursday, and you have donated to us and you have showed us love. Those that are watching us now, if you'd like to show us some love and be part of this podcast, there's our information right there. Cash App is $Power of Glory 777. $Power of Glory 777. And also you can Zelle us at Jeffrey Brown, Jeffrey, Jeffrey Brown 2094 at gmail.com. Thank you for anything that you bless us with. We appreciate it. Any help, how you support us, it helps us to do other things and get equipment, and we're trying to go totally digital. So hey, we need your help. We need your help on that one if you can. Appreciate you so very much. All right. Listen, I'm so honored. I'm so honored tonight. We're gonna get it started. I'm so honored tonight to have our guest with us on tonight. Listen, we're gonna bring him in. We're gonna bring him on, and we're gonna kind of let him introduce himself. But listen, y'all, I am so excited. I'm so thankful that he was able to take out some time out of his busy schedule to be with me. And that's the one and only my brother, my friend, Mr. Honorable Oliver Gilbert is with us on this evening. Good evening, my brother. God bless you.
How you doing, Jeffrey?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. A little excited tonight. Thank you for taking out your time tonight to be with us and have the conversation on tonight.
No, thank you for having me. Listen, and the only thing that's going to interrupt this is if LeBron announces that he's coming to Miami in the middle of this podcast. This is instantly going to become a sports show.
Yes.
You're going to have a wall to wall analysis about the offense, the defense, the basketball IQ, what we need to complement them. Everything is happening right now.
Oh yeah, if that happened, because you behind in the back room, you kind of shot, you kind of scared me, you kind of made my heart when you said, hey, Brian, because I know I saw it this morning, something about it, but I didn't know that made that move. But they haven't made that move yet, y'all.
Yeah, it was a misleading headline. It said LeBron chooses Miami, and then when you open it, it said we emerge as a top option. You don't really want to tell me that right now.
Listen, you're right. If that pops up on my screen as breaking news. Yeah, we gonna have a chat about this journey, your road, but we're gonna talk about some of this too, because right now where they are positioned right now to add him and Clay to that, like you said, the East is done.
Listen, East is done. Clay is not just a great shooter; he is a great perimeter defender.
Yeah.
LeBron has the highest basketball IQ of anybody in the NBA right now.
Right.
You can't double LeBron if Giannis is on the court.
Can't do it.
And you can't switch off a bam.
Can't do it.
Clean you up on it. It makes it. He would have never played on a team with this many dominant bigs before, and so that's something that I would be excited about.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so excited when it's out. With even just with Giannis and Porter now.
Yes,
that has brought some excitement to that team and some excitement to South Florida, to Miami. So I'm looking forward to see what they're gonna look like.
He don't like, hey, come on, bring it. He's like a little Udonis.
Yes.
We need that type of toughness.
He comes hard.
Toughness on our team.
He comes hard. Only thing separate him and UD is that he's better scored than UD was. But defensively, listen. Porter is a monster on defense. He's just that one you got to have on your team. That one.
Somebody will snatch you out the air. You ain't gonna dunk this. I'm gonna snatch you out there. I'm just gonna snatch you out, and you ain't gonna try to do the skin because you realize that gravity is real.
That part.
So,
That part. Yeah.
That part. We need that.
So, hey y'all, I'm just telling you viewers that's watching, if we just go somewhere else quickly, so you guys will know what happened. The news came out, and we're gonna talk sports.
Yeah.
This is gonna be the Talking Sports Florida, South Florida Live podcast tonight.
Absolutely.
Okay, if that happens. But to get where we are, this journey, once again, welcome you to the South Florida Live podcast. We here, we discuss issues and matters to our community. So thank you once again for taking out your busy schedule, because I think you say you was on the walk today, and it's beautiful. It's brutal out there. So make sure you guys hydrate out there.
Man, that heat is real. Like, if you don't believe that climate change is real, you step outside. Like, man.
Yes, I was telling somebody the other day. I said, "Oh, climate change not real." When I don't know. I'm a little older. I think I'm a little older. I'm 62, so I've been around a little longer. But I can't remember where there was a heat advisory every day, every week.
It's not an advisory if it happens every day. It's just the norm. It's normally
right. It has become the norm now.
We're giving advisory for something that happened every day. No, it ain't an advisory anymore. You wake up expected to be really hot outside.
Right.
I mean, and if it's not hot, then we'll give a cooler advisory. It's a coolness advisory.
Right. Like, cooler advisory. Now you're right. It has become a norm now.
It's become a norm now.
And I don't know about you or anybody else, but you know what gets me is when they say it's 88 degrees, but it feels like 102.
Then it's 102.
It is 102.
Then it's 102. If it feels like 102,
it is
102.
Right. That part.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, hey, we didn't talk sports. We didn't talk weather.
Yeah. I'm supposed to be introducing myself. I'm Oliver Gilbert. I'm the county commissioner for Miami-Dade County. Before that, I was the mayor of Miami Gardens. I was the chair of the county board also. I'm born and raised in Miami-Dade County, born and raised in Miami Gardens. Went to Norland, went away to FAMU, came back, University of Miami for law school, graduated from there. I've been a prosecutor in Broward County. I've worked in the legislature. I've worked as an assistant state attorney in Broward County. I've been in private practice for a while, became a partner in a law firm, became a city councilman, and then became mayor. I am a husband, I am a father, and I love this place. This is the place of mi familia in Spanish, and this place of my familia. I know it really well. I know it really well. So I know it from, Liberty City and Overtown to Hallandale, Beach to Hollywood, all the way. I know this place well. I lived here my entire life. And so I'm really a South Florida kid.
Yeah. And since you went there, I'm gonna ask you for our viewers. Tell my viewers, because some may know, some may not know. And the voters watching about the journey. Is the journey you had that started it all, which led to Mayor of Miami Gardens and the Miami-Dade County Commissioner. Some don't know the journey prior to you being mayor of Miami Gardens and turning Miami Gardens around like you did.
Well, listen, it depends on how far back you want to go. When I was in college, I was in college at FAMU, and I tell people that my lived experiences kind of shaped my policy decisions. So when folks see me serving on the Homeless Trust Board, it's directly related to the fact that when I was in college for a while, I was homeless living in my car because I couldn't afford tuition and some place to live for a while. I leave FAMU and I come and I go start my law school journey at St. Thomas. I do well. There I transfer to UM. Every day I would catch the 27 to the Metro Rail, all the way from Miami Gardens, all the way down to UM. And every day on the way back, my dad, he would meet me at the Martin Luther King station. He'd ask me the same question every day. What did you learn today? What did you learn today? And he knew nothing of the law, but his point was he wanted to make me realize that I had learned it, but he also wanted me to bring the information that I was learning in Coral Gables back home to the area of Miami Gardens. My first job out of law school, I'm a legislative aide to a state representative. Then I go, after that, I worked for Janet Reno when she is running for governor. I write policy for Janet Reno, which is extraordinary. Still remains one of the extraordinary experiences of my life because Janet was brilliant. And so I got a chance to write policy for her when she was running for governor. After we lose that race, I go on prosecutor for a while. I leave the prosecutor's office and I go into private practice. I'm practicing law. I'm right, going up. I'm improving. I'm, getting more billable hours. About to become a partner. I run for city council in Miami Gardens in 2003, and I lose. I lose to a person who become one of my best friends, Oscar Brainin. When Oscar serves for 5 years in 2008, he goes to the legislature when T. Holloway comes down to the school board. Oscar writes a letter to the city council asking them to appoint me to his seat. Because I wasn't one of those folks who lost and went away. I lost and I came to every meeting. Right. But I wasn't one of those folks who was bitter and came to every meeting. I came to every meeting because what I said to him the night that I called him and said, hey, congratulations, said, if there's anything that I can do to help, let me know. Right. And I came to every meeting and I tried to help. I tried to help. I wasn't bitter. I just tried to help because I truly, love Miami Gardens. Right. And so he recommends me. I get appointed. I run for mayor 3 years later. It was interesting because I wasn't the favorite. There were like 6 people. I wasn't the favorite. I ended up winning by a lot. And I remember one of the first speeches that I made, I talked about Miami Gardens, what our trajectory was. And I talked about becoming, an all-American city, winning the distinction that said that we were something special. And I remember people laughing out loud at me because at that time, somebody had just said we should recall him because we had 10 shootings in 11 days. That was during that time. And I said, no, we're gonna steady the ship. We're gonna decrease the crime. We're gonna open these parks. We're gonna transform this police department. We're gonna recruit us some businesses. And we're gonna change the narrative on this city. And people didn't believe. Wow. And slowly but surely, we just worked the plan. I'm just gonna work this plan. Right. And so what folks learned about my personality then, and I still see remnants of it when people talk about me now, it's that I was relentless. But I kind of had to be relentless because people were walking around calling themselves murder gardens. Residents of Miami Gardens was referring to Miami Gardens as murder gardens. I'm telling a group of residents, hey, who do you think they're talking about? They're not talking about the parks or the business of the streets. Right. When they say murder gardens, they're talking about you, the people. When they say criminals live here, they're talking about you, the people. Are you a criminal? Are you a murderer? No other community gets defined by the minority, the actions of a minority, but us. Right. It only takes one of us to do something, all of us bad. Right. And so listen, don't buy into that with them. You do not tell your worst story. Just as surely as there's something bad that happens, there's 10, 20 good things that happen. And so I started highlighting the good things in Miami Gardens. Before any of the stations were covered, the Herald, we had a monthly editorial it's like either monthly or 6 weeks. Every week we go and meet with the editorial board to talk to them about the coverage in Miami Gardens and what we were doing and showing them the progress because I wanted to actually show them the progress that's happening because they were torturing us. They were torturing us with negative news. Right. We just keep working at it. We keep working at it. We keep working on it. We get the parks open. We pass the bond. I start sending young people from this community to the police academy so we can have officers who are homegrown. We start seeing businesses open. And we do all these things. And in 2020, the last year that I'm the mayor, we're an all-American city. and so folks are saying, oh, this happened all of a sudden. I was like, no, it didn't happen all of a sudden. It was torturous. It was tireless, effort. It was relentless pursuit of something. It was the arguments back and forth because residents only knew what they knew. And so people would say, why are you changing the zoning? I said, well, you want businesses to open, but all of your zoning, your commercial corridors is zoned residential. Right. Well, that's just not going to work. It's not going to work. I remember, the Top Golf over there, right off of like 2nd, I think it is. It was 7th. It was really area. Yeah, it was supposed to be a truck stop. Really? So when I brought the idea of changing the zoning to allow for the Top Golf, the residents were mad at me because we don't play golf. And I was like, it's not really like that. Do you eat? Do you drink? Do you want to see a golf club? Well, y'all just got to trust me on this. You're going to love it. And it was kind of a big thing because Cameron Benton and I, that was the first Top Golf in South Florida.
Florida.
A lot of people were trying to get it. And I wanted to get it to show first that we could get it. But it was proof of concept that people would come to Miami Gardens when other businesses were saying folks would. And so we needed proof of concept for other businesses.
Right.
And it worked. And so you start seeing businesses open and open and open. It transforms the city. When I became mayor, we had like a 7 or 8% reserve. When I left, we had a 47% reserve. One of the healthiest financial books in the county. And this was the city that everybody said could not succeed. And so it was, I'm very, and it's still not perfect. They're still building out some of the bond. They're still working on some of the parks. It's not perfect, but it's progress.
Right. That part.
And one of the things I talk to folks about, like we get this thing where we want to measure our progress versus someone else's perfection. And that's not really what that is. We're gonna keep on moving forward, and you aggregate those small steps, and eventually they become miles. Eventually they become miles, and you just keep on going. And so we did.
Because that's the thing that a lot of people don't see is the record, proven record. Yeah. Like you said, that's why I asked you that question of the journey from the beginning to before Miami Gardens. Because I think a lot of people get caught up in what just the Miami Garden. They don't know your journey from that part to Miami Garden and Top Golf is still standing.
Top Golf is still standing. And one of their highest performing Top Golfs too. Yeah. So it's interesting that people think it just sprouted up. When people judge Miami Gardens now, they're like, oh yeah, they're not judging from a historical perspective. From a historical perspective. Miami Gardens is an extraordinary place right now.
Right.
I remember when the parks were literally closed and the ones that were open weren't programmed. So now you got STEM in parks. You got all that, like you got stuff happening in these parks.
Right.
I remember we didn't have a senior center. Now the senior center is bustling over with activities. I told them we build it and we build it first.
Right.
So it becomes one of those things that I hear the criticism sometimes, and I'm like, oh, I appreciate that. Thank you.
But the vision, but you wrote the vision, you made it plain, and you ran with it. Yeah. And so being consistent and relentless like you were, you have this Miami Gardens, and then it just didn't stop there. You started adding stuff to bring in the Orange Blossom Classic back.
Orange Blossom Classic. It was interesting because the Orange Blossom Classic, when they come to me and they say, hey, we want to bring it back. And I do something that people don't even realize. I just gotten finished maybe a year or so before that, suing the Miami Dolphins and suing the county because we didn't have zoning control of the area of that stadium. And so the original commissioner of the county, she wrote the charter and it didn't give us control. The subsequent commissioner, she didn't challenge it. The original mayor, she didn't challenge it. I came in as the mayor and I sued them. And so people look at the relationship that I have with the Dolphins now, they forget that it started with me suing you, saying you won't be in the middle of my city, the biggest taxpayer, taking up this much space, and we don't have control. That's how the relationship started. But I go to them, I go to Mayor Jimenez at the time, and I talked to Mayor Jimenez, and I'm like, hey, listen, the Orange Blossom Classic, the city's going to invest in it, but I really can't do it without some county help and with the Dolphins help. And he and we go, and he tells me, you know what? I'm going to get you $1 million from the county also. So we put money in, the county put money in. Then we go and we say, hey, listen, Steve, stadium, this is something that's important to us. He hadn't really heard of it before. He was like, but if it's important to you all, it's important to me. Right. And the Orange Blossom Classic is born, reborn.
Wow. Yeah. And I appreciate it. Thank you on that one. Listen, so we see the journey. We see the Miami Gardens. You're doing wonderful things also as the commissioner of Miami-Dade County. You added stuff. You brought things to the county. So all this that you've done, Mr. Gilbert, all this you have done and everything you do, why now? Why now? And you could have been doing some other things. You could run for governor, whatever. So why now are you seeking to represent the people in the Florida 24th Congressional District?
That seat is legendary. Frederica Wilson is an amazing representative. She's just an amazing representative, amazing congresswoman. You know, what she's done from a leadership perspective, the type of rock and foundation that she's been over the past, not just 15 years she's been in Congress, but even before that, she's been kind of the thing that all Black public service kind of revolves around. And so when she makes the decision that she's not going to run, you know, I think about it, and I think about the moment that we're in. The moment that we're in is such a significant moment. We're in that place where, you know, in the same conversation, you could run into one person who says their vote doesn't matter, and one person who's just almost like frantically like excited about it's we're in that place where we have folks who believe that America isn't, the American dream doesn't exist for them. And that type of hopelessness sometimes is problematic, because I'm a student of history. And when you start seeing the level of poor and the impoverished people actually rise, and the number of rich people controlling everything is always at the top, and people don't feel like they can improve themselves, it's never a good sign.
Right.
So when you can't afford someplace to live, and you can't afford gas, and you can't afford food, and you can't afford prescription drugs, and you can't afford health care, and the education system works, well, what do? You remember that a small group of people, committed, determined, who aggregate their voice, their efforts, their energy, can be transformative for an entire country, for an entire world. Those things have changed. Like when I was in church, I've been visiting churches, of course, running for office. And one of the pastors said yesterday that God had the voice to create with the power to create with his voice. He had to create with his voice.
Right.
And so I thought in that very moment, well, that's kind of what we have when we speak collectively. When we speak collectively as Americans and say we believe that healthcare is a right, it becomes a right.
It becomes a right, yeah.
When we speak collectively and say, hey, listen, housing shouldn't be going up this much if your wages aren't going up this much.
Right.
It becomes a reality. We have the ability to create as a country when we unify. We've been caught into this pattern of thinking that we are all so different. We're either Black, white, Hispanic, we're gay, straight, we male, female, we're rural, we urban. We all need healthcare. We all need someplace to live. We all need some food to eat. We all want good education and opportunity for our kids.
Yeah.
So liking each other is irrelevant in some respects. These are the things that have to exist. Let's talk about these things. Let's talk about the fact that if we can afford a war in the Middle East, that's $1 billion a day, we can afford SNAP for people who are hungry.
Yeah.
We can do that. If we can afford to give Argentina $7 billion for their beef industry, we can afford to actually provide prescription drugs for people who actually need them. They're not choosing food over medicine.
No.
Let's have the real conversation. A lot of times in political campaigns, and this campaign will probably do some of it too, people get caught up in really the kind of surface, frivolous, shallow attacks, and we start going back and forth to each other, and we forget that there's some things that people need done.
Done. Wow.
And so we want to do some things. I want to do some things.
Yeah. So that brings me to this one. We heard your journey, everything, the great things that you did in Miami Garden and things that you did as the commissioner of Miami-Dade County. But in the midst of all that, what experience, though, have best prepared you to serve in Congress? Watch this. And what would you say to those, I'm not trying to be messy, but what would you say to those that may say that you're not ready to go to Capitol Hill? You're not ready for Congress?
Well, the first thing I say is the person who's been there for the last 15 years, representing us in an amazing way, looked at the entire field and chose me. She said I was the most ready. So the person who's doing the job right now thinks that I can do the job well. The person who's doing the job right now, Congresswoman Frederica Wilson, what she said was, this isn't a job where you can, you learn as you go. No, we need somebody who's ready day one. She said I was. Now, I will tell you that how I see it is this. Whether it was Miami Gardens, the county commission, whether it's being the president of African American mayors nationally, or sitting on the board for the League of Cities nationally, or being the president of Dade County League of Cities, what I've always done was find ways to actually find solutions and work with people. The county commission is an interesting place because the county commission is relatively evenly split. So what happens is, if you have legislatures like the Florida legislature, where there's a super majority and a super minority. Listen, you can afford to yell at people, call people names. You can afford to do all these things, because the truth is that they can do whatever they want to do and you can do whatever you want to do. But on the county commission, you have to actually work together, because you actually have to get votes from the other side. Mm-hmm. And you see me go to the county commission, and you see me become the vice chair in my first meeting. And in the second year, George, still doing my first term, I become the chairman. You see me speak about things like there wasn't any public spaces in Miami Gardens or the north part of the county. So now the county's contributing $25 million. We got $25 million, almost $25 million for a performing arts center to be built in Miami Gardens. So the residents in the north part of the county can actually have a facility also, because they built them in other places. You hear me talk about things in a way that speaks to not just what I need for my community, but the common needs that exist in every community. You see me speak about things and address issues like paid parental leave, which hadn't been successfully changed before. You see me do things like get sick leave for security guards, because they were having to choose between coming to work sick or paying their bills. You see me start to work in a way that respects and promotes our values, but also brings people along. Mm-hmm. That's actually my history. So it's interesting when people say, if someone said he's not a good Democrat, I was like, well, I mean, Tallahassee's full of good Democrats, and I don't see them doing much.
Wow.
Yeah, Washington, I mean, what are we talking about here? I'm a good public servant. I'm someone who'll solve the problem for you. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because we're gonna move on, but you hear out in the wind, oh, he hasn't did anything state level. He need to state and then go national. And my thing is like, check the record out though. I mean, check out the record. Check out for him to be endorsed by this great woman. That says a lot. So, but that's people, and that's what they see. But like you said,
that's people. That's narrative that probably some of my opponents want to go with. But I would stack my actual record of achievement and things that actually affect people's day-to-day life on anybody in this race times 2.
Mm. Wow.
So if you want to do it on money, whatever metric you want to do it by,
you good.
Yeah, I'm pretty solid. I'm pretty solid on what my record is. I'm not afraid of comparing records with folks. I'm not afraid of comparing experiences with folks. No, that's not a fear.
So now let's talk about some things. Let's talk about the issues that matter. Okay. Because that's what we do on here. We talk about the issues that matter. Now, Mr. Gilbert, I've heard it. I've heard you say this, and I quote: "When you look at," and you were dabbling a little bit. When you look at DC, when you look at Tallahassee, what you see are people who really are just talking at each other, and no one's really concentrating on the issues that's happening right now for the people. So I ask you this, and you were talking about those issues. You was talking about these issues here, like raising costs of living, healthcare, and housing affordability for families here in South Florida. So what specific steps would you take to address those issues if when you go to Congress?
Which one you want to do first? You want to do housing first? Let's do housing first.
Okay.
We need the housing. Housing is predicated on basically supply and demand. The lower the supply, the higher demand, the higher the cost. We need to build more. The challenge with Miami-Dade County and South Florida generally, not just Miami-Dade County, is we can't afford to add more cars to the road with more housing inventory. That's why I don't talk about housing alone. I talk about rapid mass transit and building out rapid mass transit and investing in housing and density along those corridors. Because when you add density along those corridors, then you remove the necessity for folks to actually have vehicles parked in those buildings. You also relieve the developers of the burden of actually having to build parking spaces, which actually are very expensive to actually build when you actually start working the formula. You get to do that. That's how you actually add inventory, you add supply that actually lets you lower costs. We can also do things through the FHA. So we can change our loan products. Right now, our loan products say one thing, and our loan products basically don't want to let people get in a house, even if they can afford the housing payment. So if you have two people and you're paying rent, you're paying $3,000, $3,500 in rent here in South Florida, you can afford a mortgage. The question isn't whether you can afford a mortgage, the question is whether you can get into a house. We should be able to address that with FHA rules. Let's go through it, not with the premise of making sure the banks are okay. We always want the banks to be okay, but we want to make sure people can get in houses. Especially here in South Florida, we have a relatively low wage. We have millionaires and billionaires moving here, but we are a tourism economy still. And so we need, if wages aren't going to ramp right up, we have to find ways to actually stabilize housing costs and bring them down. Adding to supply, adding rapid mass transit, those things will actually help do it.
How about healthcare?
How about healthcare now? You want to go next? What are you saying?
Healthcare.
Listen, I believe that healthcare is a right. If they wanted to vote for Medicare for all, I would vote for it, but it's been difficult to pass that. So let's do some things that we might be able to do. Let's lower the age of Medicare, meaning you can enroll in Medicare earlier, and let's raise the economic barriers to Medicaid, meaning that even if you're working, but you're not making above a certain level, you can still qualify. Right now, we have the working poor who can't afford insurance. Let's reinstitute the subsidies. Let's do those things, and then let's see how that actually affects the number. Once we do that, let's set us a goal. Listen, that whether it's 20, 30 years, no one will, every person will be insured. And let's work through ways to do it. Whether it's allowing small businesses to pool themselves and things like Chamber of Commerce allowing to actually tag on to county insurers for the same rate. Let's allow them to take advantage of those type of bulk policies and bulk enrollee policies. We can do that. We can write that. Right now, we say, well, the law doesn't allow it. The law doesn't allow it, but we wrote the law. Why not just rewrite it? Why are we being held captive in this cell that we built, that we have the keys for, that we can change? It's a social construct that we create. It's a legal construct that we created. It's a regulatory construct that we created. We can redesign it so it works for us. We can find ways to yes, allow people to still pool. We can write that as law. I'm willing to actually fight for those things. On the margins, working a way that whether it was Medicare here, Medicaid here, small businesses here, let's actually find a way. And while we're doing all this, something that would really help, let's pass the PRO Act for unions. Because the attack on organized labor is one of the ways that they're attacking the working class of Miami-Dade County and the working class of this country. Those rights that were won. See, when you had unions that were winning these rights and winning these concessions through collective bargaining, it was more difficult. But when you start weakening collective bargaining, then you can actually start taking away the rights.
Right.
Let's strengthen unions again. Strengthening unions again doesn't just strengthen the people who are part of unions. They create rights that exist for everyone else too. Whether it's from healthcare to paid sick leave to child labor laws, they help create that. That's the labor movement. We've gotten away from understanding how that worked and how that helped build economic security in the middle class. But it's actually what happened. We need to reinvest in that idea.
And I know you probably face some challenges is to get that happen. How would you overcome some of the challenges that you might face? Because people, they know, and you said it's not an easy journey, and it's just not something going to happen overnight. There is progress. There like a plan that you have to put in place. What would be some of the challenges that that you would probably face, but how would you overcome?
I wouldn't just talk to politicians. I talk to their voters. I talk to voters in other districts about choosing their pocketbooks and their pockets over any type of prejudice they might have against urban areas or any. Listen, if people, it's funny. We generally don't want people to be selfish, but if the vast majority of Americans just voted in their own interests. Just vote in your own interest. And when I saw those food lines in urban areas, they were longer in rural areas. Just vote in your own interest.
Right.
Right now, what happens is people get to blaming someone else for your problems, and they tell you that. They'll say, you know what? It's the people in the big city. They're taking up all the stuff, and that's why we don't need it. Now, when you say, yeah, we don't need that, and you don't realize that. That means you too.
Yeah, that's right. You include.
That means you too. I just want you to vote in your own interest. Your wife needs to have a breast exam like my wife does. Your father needs to go to the doctor just like my father did. Your kids need a good education like my kid does. Those things, you need to be able to afford housing. So do we.
Yeah.
I just want you to vote in your own interest. You voting in your own interest without regard to how you feel about anyone else will actually move America forward pretty quickly. If we just have people started voting for that type of economic populism and realism.
Now, there's something that's really strong on you. I mean, you have this stewardship about businesses. So yeah. What would be your plan to support small businesses and create economic opportunities when you become Congress?
SBA 2.0, that's what I call it. It's not that the SBA doesn't work. It's just it doesn't work for everybody and doesn't work well enough. We need to improve on it. The 504, the 7A programs, those programs that actually push capital out there, we need to expand them and we need to make them more flexible. We also need to take the idea that they had a while back with opportunity zones and change it up some. I don't want people coming in and buying property in areas. What I want them to do is open business in areas, and I want the people in those areas to open businesses. So let's actually target those areas. Like this is, we'll give you special support. Give you access to capital. We'll have these programs for these areas because we know these areas and these populations have been typically underserved with small businesses. We can actually focus our attention on places where we know small businesses can thrive. And listen, it's one out of like 3 out of every 4 jobs in America are created by small business. Miami-Dade County, the most recovered economy in America since COVID, is dominated by small businesses. Us investing in small businesses is us investing in economic wealth and the economic prosperity of Florida and America. So it's not even that it's great policy. It's great. The economic return on that investment is amazing. Mm-hmm. We can have programs like a first loss program where we will allow small businesses to take out loans, and the private sector can underwrite those loans. But the grants that we issue, they can be forgiven, and we can create a first loss program. So before the banks lose their money, we lose ours. That's fine. That's giving them a chance. We can actually do those things. And so I have a whole plank about the SBA on my website that people tell me that like no one's going to read the policy on your website. and they may not. But I think one of the things that we've gotten away from in campaigns is actually saying something beyond a talking point. We don't even make people get past the, oh yeah, I want Medicare for all. Like, that's all it takes. Like, no one else has said that. Everyone else has said that the entire time. And so people get afraid to actually put ideas out there because people are just going to attack them. And so from my perspective, I always, in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking that old adage from Theodore Roosevelt is not the critic that counts, not the man who points out where the strong man stumbles out, a doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena.
Right.
So you can criticize, but you got to have something when you criticize me more than that talking point.
Right.
I want to solve the problem. I want to get rid of, and I don't think sometimes politicians don't really want to, because we start solving problems, then what they're going to talk to you about when they start distinguishing themselves from the other party. Mm-hmm. I want to solve the problem. Yeah. I love the fact that we're creating jobs. I think that we need to create jobs, but in our community, I want us to actually create businesses that create jobs.
See, and that's the thing where I was going to ask you, creating, businesses in those communities do create jobs. Mm-hmm. By creating jobs, that makes a stronger community. Mm-hmm. If I'm right.
It does. And so those type of things, and it begins to circulate dollars, and you begin to create generational wealth. And those type of things aren't the conversations when a lot of times when people come to our community and they talk to us at election time, they talk to us about affordable housing, and they talk to us about education, and talk to us about social benefits. And those things are fine. We can have those conversations. I want somebody talking to me about trade, logistics. I want them talking to me about how we have capital into these small businesses and how we create entrepreneurs. I want to talk to me about an education system that from the federal government actually incentivizes the trades that we need, that you can create a graduate that's trade ready. I will give you more money from the federal government if you can graduate people we need pipe fitters who can fit the pipes. They can do that when they graduate. They're certified. Electricians, they're certified. Plumbers, they're certified. Or the alternative, folks that are kids that are college ready and really college ready. Not this thing that we do where, we're going to grade schools. No, I want this kid able to actually perform and not just competitively. I want them to be better than students from other places, or any alternative, focusing on trades and disciplines that we know we're going to need in the future, whether that's quantum physics, whether that's mathematics, whatever it is. Either trade ready, college ready, right. Life ready.
Right.
Let's have an education system that does that. Let's actually pay teachers more. So just like we had COPS programs where the federal government would pay for the salary of part of the police officer, let's have the same type of teacher program. Mm-hmm. Where the federal government, if you're willing to pay for teachers like the professionals they are, then let the federal government pick up half the salary for those districts.
Mm. Yeah, and that totally makes sense, because this education system is broken. It's very broken, and it's in the direction that it's headed there, because I was in it for 28 years, and what I see now is it's broken, and it's sad. And you said something, and I've always said it, because I started a mentor program because of it, that we want all our kids to go to college. Even kids that I was on my track team and I coached, I want them to go to college. But some kids just not college material. They're just not college ready. I always say you got some kids that have a 4-year attention span. Then you got some that have a 2-year attention span. You got some that have a 9 months attention span, a year, 9 months, 6 months. But there have to be some programs now in the schools, or be able where these kids are able to connect to be better. You mentioned about plumbing. So how do we build that plan to put that into the school board? Who would you as congressman go to and connect to, say, hey, y'all, listen, this is the plan. This is what we need to do. I'll get you guys the money, but this is the priorities that I want to.
Those are the things that I will. That's the federal legislation I'm going to propose. And so I know Steve Gallen is leaving. He's coming to the county commission, taking my seat. But I would probably still go. I don't know who's going to be a school board member, but I would probably still go to Steve because I know he doesn't lose his passion. He's not going to lose his passion for education. But it's more than like we have programs like we have Barrington Irvin out of Opelika Airport, the young man who circumnavigates the world in a plane that he built. He has a program that I funded heavily as a county commissioner. And I funded it because he's taking kids out of our community and he's making them, mechanics and engineers and teaching them the back office, all of the aeronautical industry. And so he's giving them careers where they're making $70,000, $80,000 off rip. All they got to do is stay disciplined. Why wouldn't we have programs like that so that when they graduate from high school, they can do it? Why wouldn't we do it?
Why wouldn't we? Yeah.
Why wouldn't we? So we know that we need these things. Yeah. We know the trades that we're going to need. We know the academic disciplines that are going to prosper. We know what we need. Why not invest in that? In the meantime, we're around here telling you can't teach Black history, and our kids can't read. Like the reading proficiency went down. I think we're lower than Mississippi now. How does that even happen?
Wow. Yeah. It's broken.
So that's not but it requires us to focus. It requires us to say, as a state, as a country, hey, we appreciate that. We don't want any kid to feel bad about themselves, but history is history. We use it to teach empathy. We're going to teach all of it. If you do not want to call it Black history, then include Black history in American history. The reason why it had to be created is because you weren't including it. and your child doesn't have to feel bad. Yeah. But we use history to teach empathy so people can learn that something was wrong without us having to do it again. Right. So you don't have to do the Middle Passage again. You don't have to do civil rights again. You don't have to do slavery again. You don't have to do the Holocaust again.
Right.
You ain't got to do none of those things. You don't have to do, us wiping out Native Americans. You don't have to do it again. You can learn that it was wrong through lessons. The lessons of history.
Right.
Teach the history.
Right.
Teach kids to read.
Right.
Prepare them for the academic disciplines they're going to need.
Right.
Or when they graduate, prepare them in trades that would allow them to be employable immediately. Okay. Simple goals. Just
a few rapid questions. Just real quickly. I want to do this. Hey, listen, you guys, you're locked into the South Florida Live podcast. Honorable Oliver Gilbert is with me on tonight, and he's sharing his vision, his heart for this journey that he's taken to be the congressman for the 24th Congressional District. What is one word that describes District 24?
Resilient. It's resilient. District 24 is resilient in a unique way. It's one of the poorest districts, but there's also pockets of wealth. And what you see is people in this district, from people from Haiti and people from Venezuela and people from Cuba, African Americans, they're all working hard. They're all trying to build. They're all relentlessly pursuing the American dream. And so it's a resilient community. What leadership qualities best define you? I'm relentless. I don't even pretend that I'm going to give up. And sometimes that's I got sharp elbows. They call it that in basketball. I got sharp elbows. Yeah. I'm relentless. I'm going to keep going until we fix it. What motivates you to continue serving? What's your motivation? It's definitely the kids. My son, my stepdaughter, our children. When my parents would tell me, before I was married and had kids, it's different when you have a child. Brother, you see the world differently when you have children. Like you see it differently. I'll be laying in bed with my wife, and daughter, she's up at FAMU, hey, I'm looking at the phone. It don't say she at the dorm. Call her. I was like, well, babe, why don't you call her? She's not gonna answer. Well, she gonna answer me. It's
Right.
you worry about like, oh, where are you gonna be? Who you gonna be with? Why'd you get that grade? Okay, what can we do here? Like you worry. I worry about, like, my son's autistic, and I worry about the world that we're creating for him. I worry in ways like, and I think back now to why my dad came and picked me up from Martin Luther King Station when I was getting off the bus. I was grown. I could have caught the 27. You know,
Right.
It was late sometimes because I'd stay there all day. I didn't have a car, so
Right.
I would stay there all day and I'd study there, and I'd come back late, and he would just be there, and I know he'd be tired, but he would come and pick me up anyway. And so, he just worry. You worry about them. You worry about kids and what the world that we're creating, the world that we're leaving for them. Like, what are we doing from our environmental stewardship to the cultural and civic world that we are actually leaving them? Are we actually leaving a place that's better than when we got here? Our generation, and we have to ask ourselves that question. And we answer that question. It has to be about education and healthcare and housing and the accessibility of the American dream. The American dream is not, if it's not accessible, it's not the American dream anymore.
Right. So now, getting churchy. What this journey that you're on, this challenge and this journey that you're going through, the challenges that's going to come your way, on this journey. What's that? What would be that favorite Bible verse that you've locked in on to cover you and to keep you pushing?
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in the green pasture. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. My favorite part is that part right there, because he didn't leave you in the valley of the shadow of death. There was a B clause to the 4th verse in the 23rd Psalms. He's with me. His rod and his staff to comfort me. He prepares a table before me in the presence of my enemies. He anoints my head with oil, my cup is going to run over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I'm going to dwell in the house of the Lord forever. And he didn't leave us in a place dying. No. He prepared something more and something better.
But he prepared that table.
Yeah.
In the presence. Yeah. Hey, listen. Hey, y'all, this has been great. My closing question for you tonight, Honorable Gilbert. If the voters of Florida 24th Congressional District remembers only one thing from this interview, what do you want the message to be?
That the greatest indication of what someone can do is what they have done. That Congresswoman Frederica Wilson, she chose me because of my work, because she saw my work. And she said that type of work is the work that we need. That type of person is the person that we need in DC. I would have them remember that the person who they've trusted to be the principal for their kids, their school board member, their state representative, their state senator, and their congresswoman for 15 years, the person who created the 5,000 role models, who's been saving their sons from the school to prison pipeline, said that she thought that I was the best person to actually take up that mantle.
Wow. There it is, y'all. So Honorable Oliver Gilbert, man, thank you once again. Appreciate you for joining us, taking out your busy schedule, your busy time to be with the South Florida Live Podcast family on tonight. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. I appreciate you. And listen, if we get LeBron, I might have to come back on here.
Well, yeah, we definitely got to do that. I'm serious. Yeah. We definitely got to do it. We'll talk it up.
LeBron.
Yeah. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. We got some prayer warriors out there.
If we could put it on the prayer list in all the churches.
Well, hey, prayer warriors that's watching tonight. Prayer warriors tonight.
Coming back.
We need you to go in your secret place, in your house, wherever, and you need to pray that this happens where LeBron and Clay comes to Miami, bring their talents to South Beach, Yeah, we need that. Hey, listen, y'all, once again, hey, make sure you go vote on August 18th. Go vote on August 18th for the candidate of your choice. I heard him say it. Just, you got to vote. If you want change, you want something, go vote. Go make it happen, because you got to remember that you got to know that your vote matters. Your vote do matter. No vote is a vote. And I always tell people, turn around and tell somebody your vote matters. Your vote matters. So let's go vote, y'all. Let's go do it. Let's go do it. I always tell people, if you can, early voting, let's do it in overwhelming numbers, and numbers that's overwhelming, and just knock it out of the park. And we don't have to worry about it and get it done. All right. Once again, thank you, sir, for joining me. Peace and blessings to you. Our prayers are with you on this journey. We cover you in prayer. Bless you.
Right, thank you.
Hey, listen, once again, you've been locked into the South Florida Live podcast, y'all. That was the Honorable Oliver Gilbert, former mayor of the Miami Gardens, and Miami-Dade County Commissioner. He's running for the seat that the amazing Congresswoman Frederica Wilson held for so many years. That District 24, congressional seat, District 24. He's running for that. Hey, listen, make sure you guys go out and vote. Vote for the candidate of your choice, but vote with a purpose. Make sure you listen. Make sure you hear every candidate and make your decision for the best one that's going to do the things that the people, for the people. It's about the people. And you heard it from Oliver Gilbert. He's about the people. His concern is for the people. His work is for the people. So, guys, make sure we vote for those that are going to vote for the people. All right. Hey, once again, this has been the South Florida Live podcast. I'm your host, Jeffrey Brown. And as we always say, I'll pray for you. Listen, y'all, please pray for me. And we're going to watch God change things. All right. God bless you.
Email your idea for show topics to the South Florida Live Show at gmail.com. Thank you for tuning in to South Florida Live with your host, Jeffrey Brown.